Hey, what's good, people? This your boy Cincy, aka Mr. Good Vibes, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. How's your trading going? How's everything going? Hope you guys are trading safe. Listen, I'm going to be talking about three things today, and the first thing is going to be a quick market update and the earnings that we've been seeing currently, and the second thing is going to be my prediction of what I think Bitcoin is going to be doing next with regards to the information I gave the last time. And the third thing is going to be about my account challenge that is currently ongoing. So now let's quickly dive to the chart and let's start looking at some of this market update. So as you can see currently on my chart, I typically look at three major indices that control the US market, which is the XPX 500, the NASDAQ 100, and the US 30. So the SPX 500 is typically the ones that shows the performance of the top 500 companies in the US. And as you guys can see currently on the chart, I typically use a couple of indicators on the chart to kind of give me a directional bias of where I think the market will be going up or down. So you can see I've currently been bullish on the market with regards to what I've been seeing on the chart. And for those of you who have been following me closely, you know the first thing I always look for is my primary indicators. And you can see my current primary indicator is showing a B sign, which represents a buy, or if you do see a S sign, then that would represent more of a sell. Another thing you also see is that I'm seeing a green arrow, which typically represents the direction to be going to the upside, or if you get a red arrow, then that will mean the direction is going to the downside. So I have these two primary confirmations that are telling me that the market direction is going up for the S&P. Then the other thing I also look for is my baseline. You can see I have a baseline, which is this green and red line. And all you need to know is that whenever the market is bullish, you want the price to always be above the baseline. And I have also added one more extra baseline, or what you guys call a moving average, which is the 5 SMA, the 5 simple moving average. And again, for you guys that are following me, I actually use weekly charts and not daily charts. So weekly chart means one of these candles represents Monday to Friday, right? You guys understand? So as you can see, I'm on this weekly chart. One thing that actually concerns me about the S&P 500 that I'm looking at is I've actually been bullish for some time, but you can see currently I'm beginning to see a red arrow, which is indicating a direction to the downside, which is kind of a little bit worrisome for me. And I'm seeing this candle closing a little bit below both my moving averages that I normally use on my baseline. So if I'm seeing the weekly candle close below these baselines, then that is also a sign for me to start getting out of my trades, or a sign that, you know, the market could be dropping prior to the election. So for those of you who know, the election is next week, Tuesday. So I believe that the fact that I'm seeing this on my chart, then there's a chance that the market could sell off prior to the election. But let's take a look at the other indexes just to make sure that they are all saying the same thing. So I'm looking at the NAS 100, which is this NAS 100 controls the top 100 technology tech companies in the US, like, you know, the Apple, NASDAQ, Google, etc. So you can see for the NASDAQ 100, we still get the B and the green arrow indicating a buy. But the problem is now we're seeing a current arrow, which is indicating a direction to the downside. Again, remember, like I said, this is a weekly candle. So today is Friday. So today is the last day of this candle. So again, by the time I come and check this candle at exactly 3 p.m. Central Time today, if this arrow is still red and this candle is still closing below this baseline or moving average, then there's a chance that they could most likely sell off this market next week. So that's exactly what I'm trying to say. But if we find some type of momentum today in the market that pushes the candle back up, and we happen to close above this baseline, and this red arrow disappears, then it's a chance that, you know, we could continue that movement to the upside. So if you look at the US 30, however, you can see that the US 30 is also showing that red arrow to the downside, but it has also closed below this baseline from the previous candle. So you can see the US 30 is already trading below our threshold, which is the reason why we don't kind of like this US 30 index. So which means if the US 30 goes down, then there's a chance that this could also drag the other stocks down in the market. But you can see the current futures is actually green, and we do have two major stocks that released yesterday, which was Amazon. And you can see Amazon, if you look at Amazon currently on my chart, sorry, on my screen, you can see that pre-market it's up $197.97, which is about 6.33%, especially after dropping 3.39% yesterday. So I believe the earnings was good, and this has allowed the stock to move up. Another major name that we want to look out for is Apple. Apple also released yesterday, and you can see Apple yesterday closed at 1.82%, and you can see pre-market it's actually down 1.05%, and you can see this is not too bad. So I believe that is what is actually, because those are the two major earnings that we had, and I believe that is what is actually making the current futures to be green. Like I said, if these can hold today, then there's a chance that we can move the market back up, and that could change my sentiment by the end of the day. But if I don't see that reaction and the market somehow, some way sells off today, then I'll be a little bit worried that there is a chance that there could be a major sell-off prior to the election. And don't get now, listen, if the market sells off between today and the election, what I'm probably going to do is on Tuesday, if I see some good dips, I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of those dips and going to be buying them, because I believe that the market could actually bounce back right after we start to get those results coming in starting from Wednesday. Now, like I said, the second thing I want to talk about today is my I want to talk about is Bitcoin. Let me talk about Bitcoin, then I'll talk about my account challenge. So for Bitcoin, let me look for Bitcoin. So BTC, currently we are down 0.8%, and you can see I actually called Bitcoin this weekend. I even posted it on my story, and I said when I saw Bitcoin trading close to my baseline, I like to use my baseline as my support. So you can see it actually touched my two moving averages, which are actually close to each other. So when I saw it close to the baseline, I was a good believer that the market would most likely try and get some of that from that support. So I picked up some of that Bitcoin at 65k, and you can see we rallied it all the way to 73, and we got a little bit of a rejection at that resistance, which was expected. So I took quite a few profits right here, which I'm going to show you guys on my small account, which I actually bought Bitcoin. And if you look at the signals below the chart, you can see that the signals below the chart are also backing the fact that this could actually be a potential bullish play. So for those of you who are following me closely, this is the way I interpret this signal. So you can see this is what I call a zero line indicator, which means there is a signal line, which is the green line, and there is a zero line, which is kind of like the cutoff line. So if the signal line is above that zero line, then that is a buy signal, which is going to be a positive number. But if the signal line happens to be below that zero line, then that is going to be a negative number. Then that will be telling you that is most likely a sell signal. So again, I have that. Then I also want to look at another one. So before I go, you can see that the current signal is actually bullish. So you can see now for the second one, I just don't want to use one. I want to use multiple indicators. You can see with this one, I have a red line, which is the slow line, and I have a green line, which is the fast line. And all you need to know is that whenever the red is above the green, then that is the sell. But if you see the green above the red, then that is more of a buy. So you can see currently, I see a good buy signature. You can even see it's pointing upwards as well for Bitcoin, which is why I see one bullish signal and I see two bullish signals in respect to what I'm also looking at on the chart. So you can see the third one is this little histogram chart that you see there. Whenever it's red, then that is the sell. But you can see the most current bars are showing green color, then that is more of a buy. buy signal. Very, very simple, no more to it. And this one is also, if you look at this indicator, you can see that my signal is between my upper level and my middle level, which is indicating a buy signal. And if it's between the middle level and the lower boundary or the lower level, then that is going to be more of a sell signal. So you can see the current one is actually positive, and that is telling me that Bitcoin is definitely a buy signal. And the last one I look at is another zero line, also two line cross, comparing two lines again, green line versus the red line. If the green is above the red, then that is a buy. If the red is above the green, then that is a sell. You can see my current status is the red, sorry, is the green above the red, so that is a buy. So you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different indicators telling me that the Bitcoin is most likely going to be going to the upside in the future. Now, this is what I believe is going to happen. If Bitcoin happens to find a way to move back to the upside next week, which I think this is what's going to happen. So I'm actually going to be buying more Bitcoin as we see it drop down to this level, because I kind of like this level, because this level is also a support or a resistance level for previous tops. So you can see it seems like we're hanging around that level right now. If we happen to close above this resistance level, or which is acting as a support right now, at the end of this candle, I'm definitely going to be adding more to my Bitcoin, as I believe that if we break this 75,000 or 74,000 level, then there's a chance that Bitcoin is going to try and find its way all the way to 100K. And if we get to 100K, who knows, we might get to this 150K everybody is talking about. So you can see this is my small account. For those of you who have been following me, I actually deposited $1,500 into this account let me see, I think it was on the 25th of last month of October, and actually in less than 2 days I was actually up 84%. Yes, I was up 84%. I even posted it on my story, so you can see, if you go to some of my closed positions, you can see that I actually bought some Bitcoin when I saw that signal, and I made quite a few when I was actually up 84% on this account. I was excited. But now the problem was, yesterday we had a couple of earnings which I thought were going to do well in Microsoft and Facebook, and I banked on the market to kind of move to the upside. But we got a big surprise. For those of you who are in the market, we got a very, very big surprise, which created a huge drawback for me, and it created a lot of concern for me, as I did not want to hold on to those positions. So I was forced to close out on some of my positions, like the XPX 500. I was bullish on the XPX 500, you can see on the chart, and I was also bullish on the Nasdaq 100, and you can see I had to close out on my Microsoft, close out on my Meta position, and also closed out on my Amazon position as they were releasing their earnings today, as I did not want to take that chance. So you can see sometimes you can actually be on a good winning streak, but sometimes the market will spring surprises to you, and this can create what I call a drawback, which is market just pretty much taking back the profit they've given you. So which is why I always advise people to make sure that you're trading according to your risk, and you're also trying to understand what you're getting yourself to. So if you're going to be playing into a more volatile market where you know that there's earnings coming off of major stocks, and also we have major events like the election coming up, you have to make sure that you are not over trading, so that way you don't tend to lose too much or lose too big. So moving forward on this account, I'm going to definitely be a little bit considerate on my sizes until after the election, as I don't want to create a colossal loss in this. Like I said, it's a very small account, and for those of you who are familiar with trading Forex, it's very, very easy to blow your account, especially if you're trading indices and things like spot metals, gold, crypto, and even Forex pairs, on with this very, very small account. So you have to be very, very careful with your lot sizes and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, I even posted a video on YouTube explaining to you guys how to calculate your lot size based on the amount of money that you have on your account. So that is something that you always have to consider. So again, I will continue to grow this account. You can see it's kind of flat right now, so I'm pretty much not making any money, break even. But I have a couple of setups on there, which I currently like I said, I have BTC open. I'm going to be adding more to my BTC, so I still have some BTC opened. One setup that I currently like is all the JPY pairs, which is the GBP JPY pairs, NZD JPY pairs, European JPY, AUD JPY. I kind of like all those pairs because I believe the trend on those pairs are looking pretty strong right now. So let's take a look at them on the chart. So the first one was let's look at Euro JPY. You can see Euro JPY. I kind of like Euro JPY because again, I'm seeing my B sign and I'm also seeing my green arrow to the upside, right? And I'm also seeing that the candle is now beginning to trend above my moving averages, which I like. As a matter of fact, I was a buyer when the price kind of trended back and retraced back on this green and yellow moving average right there. I was a buyer right there, and you can see even if you look below the chart to look at my secondary indicators, you can see that my zero line cross is positive, so that is a buy. You can also see that my two line cross has the green above the red, that is a buy. And you can also see that my histogram is a green color, that is a buy. You can see that my other zero line cross signal is between the upper level and the mid or the zero level, which is a buy as well. And you can also see that my final two line cross is showing the green above the red, which is also a buy signal for this pair. And also one more thing is I also look at volume when it comes to Forex. So you can see the blue signal is above my cutoff, which is also telling me this has some volume in it and it's most likely going to move. Again, I'm looking at the weekly chart, so I like this, and I was actually a buyer right there. And if you move my measurement from here to where the current price is, so we've gone from what? Look at this number, from 1,168, and we've gone up to about what's this? 828. So that's about 300 and something pips of profit that I've actually. Okay, yeah, so you can see the Euro JPY, I have it open, it's currently green. And I'm going to be monitoring it for some time to see how far it goes to the upside. So again, I spoke about the market update, I spoke about Bitcoin, I spoke about my small account challenge, and I also spoke about some of the positions that I'm looking at, such as the European JPY, the GBP JPY as well is another one that I like as well. And also the USD CHF was one that I also saw this morning that I also like. So I see quite a lot of setups in the market currently going into the election. But remember, you guys, always make sure you're trading safely, you're considering your risk, and you expect the market to continue to be as volatile as possible going into this election. There's a lot of uncertainty. If you guys have been listening to the news and looking at the polls, you can see that no one can really tell who's going to be the president at this point. I mean, most of those decisive states are showing evenly matched polls between President Trump and Vice President Harris. So it's going to be a tightly contested election. And I think the market doesn't necessarily like the fact that they can't really guess who the winner is. But let me tell you one thing though. After the election is over, after all the news and all the dust settles, trust me, everything is going to go back to normal and it's going to be business as usual. So don't forget to keep all those your household names, as you know, the likes of Nvidia, the likes of Apple, the likes of Microsoft, you name them. Once you see those huge dips on those guys, you definitely want to wallow them up, as those are going to be your big money makers. Again, be careful in this market, as I am being careful, as I don't want to get my feet too wet. And remember, this is your boy Cincy, aka Mr. Good Vibes, and let's make some small money together, even if it's just a little.